Good morning, Wendy. How are you doing this morning? I hope you are doing well. Welcome to the stream. So, how is the family doing? Family's doing well right now. They'll know at about 10 a.m. if they have COVID or not. Now, we all had to go get down and get tested and do the rapid test for the COVID. We got tested yesterday at 4 o'clock. The test went out to a nearby lab, and they would have had the test at 8, but that's after office hours, so they don't have anybody to release results. And my wife can't access the system because it's at her work for the lab that she works in. She can't access the system from home after 8 p.m. So she would have to have gone from here, drove to work, got the results, or we can just wait until 10 a.m. and they'll call them. But I didn't have to get tested. Again, since I already had COVID, they are not testing what they call secondary exposure unless you have a confirmed result from the other person. And they're not testing people who have already tested positive in the past and are more than 30 days past their initial tested positive, which is me. So I didn't have to get tested again. But my son had to get tested. My wife had to get tested. My daughter. So that's that. Good morning, Diana. Faithful one, good morning. Both of you, welcome to the stream. Glad you both could be here this morning. Hope you're both doing well. Debbie, good morning. Well, hope you're doing wonderful. Well, I'm doing as best I can. For a Saturday morning, it's very cold here this morning, and not like snow cold, like in the 30s, but it's in the 40s, and it's very windy. So I'm doing as best I can. But thank you for asking, and welcome to the stream. Good morning, Queen C. How's my son? My son's he's doing good. He's been running the temperatures. Well, before we actually found out that we were all exposed multiple times over the course of the last 7 days, he started running a temperature. So his temperature has been about 100.3, right in there. It hasn't gone down. It hasn't gone up. But we've been closely monitoring it. But he's 4 years old and still running around like a nut. Refuses to wear clothing of any type at all. So when we can keep his undies on him, well, we consider that doing great. We can keep that on. But yesterday he wanted to run around and just wearing his socks and no undies at all. So that's his life. Running around like a little nut and jumping off of things and saying, "Hey, catch me." Oh, I didn't tell you I was going to jump. That's his new favorite game. But he's doing good. Thank you for asking. No, Tim is not my brother. Tim is just he's my best friend. And I named Tim's middle name is Edwin, and that's my son's middle name is Edwin. So we're just really good friends. Let's see here. Oh no, my son and his wife tested positive Wednesday. Sending prayers. Good morning, Cement Shoes. Welcome to the stream. Sorry about that, so that your son and his wife tested positive. Yeah. So from what I've realized and found out later on from my wife is we have here in the state. We live in Washington State. And the COVID outbreak is hitting another wave here. And we've had over 2,000 people tested positive just yesterday alone in the state. And they haven't seen a spike in this many people who are testing positive and hospitalizations, and those who with severe side effects, because there is mild, there's asymptomatic is at the bottom, then there's mild, and then there's severe. So there's like, think of it like a threat schedule, like yellows at the bottom, reds at the top. There are more people who are testing, positive and who have severe side effects. And hate to break the bad news to a lot of people, but this wave seems to be hitting a lot more people who are younger. Instead of those with who are immune compromised, have diabetes or other side effects, pre-existing conditions, it's hitting people in their 40s, and it's hitting them harder than the first wave of those who were in their 40s and tested positive. So that's not a very good sign. They are not sure at this point if this is a mutated strain of it, but it's not looking good because it's really affecting those in their 40s, and then up a lot more than it was before. Good morning, Linda. Welcome to the stream. I'm glad you could be here this morning. I hope you are doing well, Linda. Let's see. What did I miss? Rykart 0713. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the stream. Glad you could be here this morning. Hope you are doing well. Good morning, Chatterbox. How you doing this morning? I haven't seen an update on your channel since your last video. It's kind of sorry, but I was expecting that from your video. I thought you said that you were going to be doing an update on that. I hope you are doing well. Orchid Mama, good morning. Welcome to the stream. Glad you could be here this morning. Diana Trudeau, 2 of my friends' kids have COVID. I wish this would all fall off the edge of the world. Same here. Now, I would like to say a joke. The following is a joke. It is meant as a joke. I mean nothing from this joke, but this is something that was told to me yesterday when I was there at the clinic getting tested for COVID. Well, not me, but my family was. All right. The nurse was speaking to another nurse there at the clinic, and the one nurse said, "Wow, I thought all this COVID was going to go away as soon as Biden was elected president. I guess all those memes were wrong." End joke. Take that for what you want. But no, it's not going away. It's not falling off the end of the earth. I'm waiting for 2020 to be over with. Can't we have 2020 be over with already? And that's for me. This has not been exactly what I would call the best year for me. Let's see. Television Eyes. Good morning from Houston. From Wisco, Texas. From Houston. Good morning and welcome to the stream. Rain Dancer, good morning. And scroll up there. Linda Taylor, love your broadcast. My second time watching. Very impressed. Thank you, Linda. I appreciate it. I try to do my best, but I am human and I do make mistakes from time to time. But when I do make those mistakes, I humbly, accept those mistakes and correct them. That's all I can do, is do my best. And overall, I think the production value and everything has gotten better over the time in the 2 years that I've been doing this. I have big plans for the coming year to make it even more visually and audio-wise better. So hang in there. If you don't like it now, it's going to get better. Let's see here. You're going live tonight, Chatterbox? I don't know if I'll be around tonight to watch that, but I will definitely watch it on a recap. Let's see. I see you. Good morning. Welcome to the stream. I'm from Perth, Western Australia. Claire. Or do you pronounce the E on the end? Is it Claire or Clary? I'm sorry either way for butchering it. But welcome to the stream. 2020 has been a challenge for you, Rain Dancer? Yes, it has. Bossy Toes. Good morning. Welcome to the stream, Bossy Toes. Amen to that. Will 2020 needs to get going. Good morning from Gainesville, Florida. And a channel that I watch on YouTube. Long story short, I've been studying what they call ASMR videos. I'm still not entirely sure what those are, and because they seem to be all over the place. And the only reason why I'm studying ASMR was because I accidentally used the tag in a video, ASMR. I had copy and pasted a bunch of tags, and I'd used that, and somebody came to my channel and said, "This is not AMSR. How dare you? You're a disgusting, vile piece of, excrement for using this." And I'm like, wow, that's such a vile thing to say to someone you don't know. But I'm like, well, what the hell is AMSR? I had no idea. So I've been kind of like studying and watching these channels that say that they 100% of their content is ASMR. And it's everywhere, from people who do videos on just white noise, what they call static from television, and to people who do relaxing music of sound of the ocean crashing on the shore, to there's another gentleman who does a drumstick on an actual drum. It's just a rhythmic, like, do, do, do. I don't know what it is. I guess maybe it's relaxing music, low tone music, or whatever you might want to call it. But so I follow a channel. I know, long story. So I follow this channel that they play casino games. They call them coin pushers. And I'm like, how is that ASMR? I don't know. But how that ties into Gainesville, Florida. They're looking for property in Gainesville, Florida, and they're in around the upper part of Florida, where there are a bunch of hunting lodges. And these are all ASMR videos. I'm like, how the hell is this ASMR compared to ocean waves crashing on the shore? I don't know. But I looked through the comment section, and while they were playing their coin pusher game, nobody was calling them excrement, and vile things in the comment sections. So, all right, back to the comments here. Let's see here. Where did I leave off? Is Tim affected? He's in hot country over here. No, Tim was supposed to come into town last night, but until we get the COVID testing, he decided, well, I'm just going to wait. I'll come into town today, Saturday. He's going to come into town later on today, and because the birthday party for his grandson is today, so they're going to come into town, and he's going to stay here tonight. But hopefully, we'll have the COVID test well before he ever leaves Seattle to get here. But to answer your question, no, he is not positive Rain Dancer, at least as far as I know at this point. So I love the DJ nights. They are so fun to hang out with everyone. Yeah. I don't know if that content will continue after the new year. Actually, probably. I don't know if it'll happen again before the end of the year. All that content that I've been doing like that, playing music and talking about it. Most of them were with Tim, but I had taken that content and put it on a friend's website, and he put it on behind a paywall. It was content for him to draw people in, and to give them something else besides him just droning on about life and politics. So it actually was a good match there, and there were a lot of people who liked to watch it. Well, that agreement with them has ended, and there's a long story, but I'm trying to make it short as possible here. He has decided to give up the website effective last month. He's waiting for that 30 days that they've already paid up for to end, and they're canceling all their contracts, for everything, for hosting and stuff like that. And they sold me the rights to the .com, the name, the registry. They sold me the name, and they sold me their YouTube channel. It has no subscribers. It has no views. It's never had anything on it at all. So it's totally legal to transfer it from one person to another, since there's nothing there. So don't, all you haters out there that want to say, oh my God, he bought a YouTube channel. Yeah, there's nothing, zero. You can go check on it right now. There's nothing there. It was supposed to be a gaming channel on YouTube, but I took it over. So starting in January, I'm going to take over for the two gentlemen who were the hosts of that before. And I get the podcast, I get the channel, I get the RSS feed, I get it all. And we're all just going to part ways. Now, part of that agreement is a non-competitive agreement that I had to sign for 6 months, that I will not compete with him in certain genres or doing certain content that him and his co-host have been doing. And one of them is, the content of me doing, the DJ night streams. So I'm having my attorney, advise me, on what I can legally do and what I can't do. Maybe we can do something close to it. I don't know. We'll see. Keeping in contact with family and loved ones builds up your immune system for the good against the virus, guys. I agree. You should always keep in contact with your friends and family. I don't know how that works in virology, but laughter is the best medicine. And if you have a family like mine, you laugh a lot. So you definitely building up your immune system, or helping at least get through it, so you're not as miserable. Good morning, Short Nice. Welcome to the stream. Hope you are doing well this morning. Mean people. Yeah, they're mean people all over the internet. They're people who hide behind this keyboard, and they can say whatever they want, and they can do whatever they want to anyone, because they don't think there's any repercussions to their actions and what they say and what they do. That's not true, but they think that. Let's see. ASMR reminds me of obscene phone calls when the people do whispering. Yeah. But I mean, it's so far, Symmetrius, it's all over the board. I don't understand what actually it is. I tried looking it up in psychology books. Can't find anything in there. I tried Googling it, and what the definition is on the internet from Webster Dictionary has nothing to do with half of the channels that I've been able to find who say that they are an ASMR channel. And it's supposed to be low toned, nothing too exciting, no loud noises. That's supposed to be the basis of it. But watching someone play a casino game with noises and banging and clanging and them getting excited and shouting when they win, how is that ASMR? How is a drum beating on, a drumstick beating on a drum and loud tones from that? I don't know. I guess there's no one kind of definition that fits all, I guess. Connie, Good morning. Welcome to the stream. Hope you are doing well, Connie. Good morning, Will. Hope you're having a great day. Well, my day is just pretty much started. Well, I've been up since 5. It's 8:20 a.m. now, but I've been up since 5, and all I've been doing so far was I came in here, I dusted, and then after knocked. There were some cobwebs that were up at the corners. I got all those done with the feather duster, and then I swept and mopped the area here. So I'm getting it, and doing some light house cleaning, I guess you could say. And my coffee just got done, so that's a bonus because the coffee I'm drinking now was left over from yesterday. I warmed it up in the microwave. So I got fresh coffee. I'm here chatting with everybody. So my day is off to a great start. I hope yours is as well. That's good. He should get tested. Well, if he comes in contact with somebody who has tested positive, he damn well should get tested. The rapid test, as long as he has a rapid test done, normally the rapid tests are it takes them about 15 minutes to get results from the rapid, but it's not 100%. There is a plus or minus of in there with just about anything kind of laboratory testing. There are people who test positive who are not positive, and there are people who test negative who are negative. You hear about it all the time in the news, especially with athletes now in the NFL. It's like, oh my God, he tested positive. Then he takes the second one, hours later, and he's negative. But that's just, it's life. Nothing's 100%. Lori, good morning. I hope you are doing well this morning, Lori. Welcome to the stream. Reba Crow, I think you suck as a novice guy, but I think you are such a novice guy. Thank you. I don't know how I got what I first said out of that. I think I need more coffee. Good morning, Gayla. Good morning, Will, and everyone. How's things? I can't complain. I mean, I could, but does it really matter? There we go. I love me some fresh hot coffee. Black coffee. I don't like creamers in my coffee. I want to be able to taste the actual coffee itself. And to each their own, I guess. My wife, she likes she'll pour a cup of coffee, put a little cream in it, and then she drops an ice cube in it. So because she wants to drink the coffee today, not next week. That's what she always tells me. I would like one ice cube, please. And we're not talking big ice cubes. These are small, ice cubes that our refrigerator ice maker makes. Then she puts one in there, so it just kind of cools like the top layer of the coffee off, so she can actually drink it today, not next week. Still here. Good morning. Welcome to the stream. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's a good coffee. I like Cool Whip in my coffee. There you go. I've never tried that. I like Cool Whip on pumpkin pie, but we don't buy Cool Whip anymore because my daughter got all fancy on us, and she decided that she could make it better. So she bought one of those canisters. You put heavy cream in it, a little bit of vanilla. You put sugar in it, you mix it up, and then it's got a CO2 cartridge that goes in there, and it makes fresh whipped cream. So we don't buy Cool Whip or toppings like that anymore. Now we buy that stuff, and there's no preservatives in it. It usually it never we never it never lasts until like the next day. You can always make more. You just open it up, clean it out, put it in the dishwasher, boom, done. Put a little CO2 canister in there, and the canisters themselves are recyclable. I like my half and half. Nothing too fancy. Half and half is good. People like it. Tim puts coffee mate creamer in his. We either buy the original or the French vanilla coffee mate creamer, or maybe there's the same one. Plain? No, it is. It's French vanilla or plain. We buy either one, and we keep the little. They're like not even the. There can't be more than 2 cups worth of each in a bottle. We buy them, we keep them in the refrigerator because occasionally we have other house guests besides Tim who come over and would like a little creamer in their coffee. My sister, mainly, she comes over quite a bit, and we also hold meetings here for a nonprofit that we're part of, because we have large enough space and parking. So we meet here, especially since everything's closed down. We can't meet where we normally would have because the building's closed there where we would meet. So we meet in my house, and we've got 3 dining room tables in our dining room that are end to end. So you can put 14 chairs around it in our dining room, and they come in. We don't ever have 14 people. We might have 6 or 7, but we can put that many people around it. It's really a good deal. We didn't pay anything for the tables or the chairs, and they're all mismatched. A couple of companies that we knew employees of, they decided when all this COVID shutdown happened that they weren't going to have offices anymore because virtual working was better, and they were actually saving money, and they didn't need all this stuff anymore. And they literally, and I say use the word literally, because they put a dumpster in front of the building, and they paid 2 employees at both of these locations to go in, take all the chairs, throw them into the dumpster, take all the tables, throw them into the dumpster, take everything, and then it was all going to get crushed and then ground up and then end up in recycling or landfill. So we went there and we said, well, okay, we'll take these tables, we'll take those chairs, and we loaded them up in the back of my truck. Free. Besides the cost of gas, it was about, I want to say 12 miles one way, 12 miles back. So 24 miles total distance driving for free conference tables and chairs. And they're not like cheap chairs either. They're really nice and they're comfortable chairs. Cement Shoes will take his coffee straight black too. Yep, that's the way I like it. I like my half and half. Nothing too fancy. The only time I put anything in my coffee is when I have Bailey's. My daughter bought a whole liquor cabinet. I mean a huge liquor cabinet full of stuff from it was an estate sale basically, and there's so much liquor, but there was so many different kinds of Kahluas in there. There had to be at least 6 or 7 different kinds of Kahluas, everything from candy cane to dark chocolate to, I didn't know that half of these things were ever made. Most of it was never opened. But there was quite a few different Baileys and Irish creams in there. And that's what she likes to put in her coffee. On the weekends, not during the weekday, because she works Monday through Friday. And every other weekend she has to work at either a Saturday or Sunday shift. My mom uses 14 creamers and sugar in a small coffee. Tells her she needs viral instance to drink that. That sounds like a lot. Wow. I'm a half and half person. In fact, I got my mug in freezer waiting at frozen consistency. Never done that. Never put a mug in the freezer to cool it down. I'll make it through noon. Would need a nap. Marion Rona Worthy. Good morning. Welcome to the stream. I hope you are doing well. I drink Coca-Cola instead of coffee. I like Coca-Cola. I drink Coca-Cola over Pepsi, but there we go. Margaret Kelly, gum, Bailey's Irish Cream. You miss jail coffee? Okay, so I was watching After Prison show the other day, and they're talking about prison jail coffee. O'Keefe, I think that's what they called it. I don't know if it's the same as you're talking about, Gala, but O'Keefe. I never heard of the stuff myself, but cheaper version of Bailey's is Carolyn's. Yeah, that pretty much would cement shoes. That many creamers and sugars, in a small cup, that would. Not to each their own. I mean, if that's how your mom likes her coffee, I guess. That's me. That'd be me. I'm Irish. Margaret Kelly. Bet they didn't share good coffee with the inmates when you were a cop. Pokemon Go. Good morning. Welcome to the stream. I hope you're doing well this morning. I'm so busy today. I'm not playing Pokemon Go just because I'm addicted to YT live streams. Brazilian. You can call me Luzia Pokemon. Okay. I like jail coffee because I didn't have to clean the pot here. Okay. Yeah, because the stuff that they had on After Prison show, they were talking about it's basically an instant coffee. They were talking about how they would make the water warmer than they could get from a tap, using things that they shoved into the electrical outlets to make basically electrify the water, so it actually would get it hotter than normal. So and it's instant coffee that they were talking about. So what's new in the crime world? Let's see. A lot. I mean, every day someone's doing something deplorable to somebody else. Mainstream cases. Well, Lori Vallow has been named a person of interest and prime suspect in Joseph Ryan's death. I don't think they're ever going to find anything to actually convict her of it. I think when the end of it is, he died of the coroner listed it was pulmonary heart disease, that caused his death. But I think in the end, Joseph Ryan died of a broken heart because she took the one thing from him that he loved and he wanted, which was his daughter Tylee, and she damn near bankrupted him, and did all these things, for no reason other than she could. Let's see. What else was there? Well, there's a lady from I believe she's from Colorado who think she announced on was it TBN or some cable network news that she believes that she can solve the JonBenét Ramsey case. I don't think so, but I mean, go ahead and knock yourself out. There's a lot of things that in particular, the things that have come up in cases. Christopher Watts' parents are suing to try to get the insurance money. Yeah, the $450,000. The Christopher Watts' parents want part of that money, or all of it. They didn't say if they only want part of it or if they want all of it, but you can guess that they're trying to get all of it. Short Nice, you grew up on instant coffee? Unsweetened black tea, I'm hardcore. Does Smith Shoes, does black tea have caffeine in it? I'm not entirely sure. I've never been much of a tea drinker. My wife and my daughters, oh my gosh, they have an entire cabinet that is just filled with teas, and they actually they're part of like a tea club where they get different sample packs of different teas every month, and then they get those mesh bags so they can reuse them. But my daughter prefers to put the leaves in it's like a cup, strainer thing that goes in an actual cup, and then pour the hot boiling water over it. She prefers that for her tea method. Yeah, I do believe that she is a psychic or a clairvoyant. I'm not making fun of it. I just don't know how. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. Clairvoyant. I think I am, but I'm not sure. Are you following the Janelle Matthews case? No. Michelle Jones. Michael Jones, sorry. Michael. I'm sorry for saying Michelle. Michael. No, I am not. I'll look into it, though. Soccer Mom of One, good morning. Welcome to the stream. I hope you are doing well this morning. Gary Cullen, welcome to the stream. Hope you are doing well this morning, Gary and Michael. But while I'm not here to butcher your name, and again, sorry, welcome to the stream as well. Didn't mean to miss you earlier. Yes, black tea has caffeine. Okay. Because they have, I was just wondering, because they have it separated in the cabinet, green teas and black teas. They're on different shelves in there. And I think a lot of what they drink are green teas. So, thanks. I'm ARU. Damn it. That went flying by. Die D. Try scroll back up to read your. Okay, hello. Scott said the matter was settled between Watts and Roost Chicks. The judge ruled the Roost Chicks lawyers get the money, and the Roost Chicks settled with the Watts. Matter is closed. Thank you, Die D. I haven't had a chance to. I watched Scott's video. Well, Reich. I watched it, or maybe talking about Scott Sharp. I don't know. But I watched Reich's video yesterday. I'm a subscriber to both of them. I really enjoy both their content, Scott Reich and or Reich, however you pronounce it. It's not my job to pronounce it correctly, and I'm sorry for everybody out there that may take it as an offense if I mispronounce his last name. But I'm a subscriber to both. I enjoy their content immensely. Scott Sharp, he put the comical twist on it, so you never know what I like watching it because he's reading it off, but you just never know, where he's going to throw that comedy in there and lighten it up. So it's a good channel as well. Scroll back up. I'm talking and I'm missing it. She's a nutbag, not clairvoyant or type in any way. Okay. I can't figure out what that is, Rain Dancer. something a part of estate knowledge will do a lien on holders first. I don't know if that's my screen or what. I don't. It looks like 196S, or is that a percent? 1%? Is that a percentage? Yeah, I have to see the optometrist. My eyes are they're worse than they were, and I haven't seen them in 2020 because, well, COVID shut their offices. And you have to make an appointment, and you have to stay in the parking lot until they call you on the phone, and then you have to come up to the door. You have to get tested. Well, they take your temperature, and then if you have you have to answer all these stupid questions. Have you been exposed? Have you know anybody? Have you been anywhere? And I'm like, really? Have I been anywhere where people have tested positive? How the hell would I know that? That was when I took my son. And then when I was supposed to go, they closed that day because of some reason. And then the next time they rescheduled, and I was like, screw it. I'll just catch you guys in January. Is that a percentage? It could be a percent sign. 1%. Yeah, I'm sorry, Rain Dancer. She's a nutbag. Yeah. Deb Briggs. Good morning, Deb. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well, Deb. Yes, there's caffeine in black tea. If you can buy tea without it. Yeah. I'm not a tea drinker, but I was just wondering if one of them had caffeine in it and the other one didn't. Miss Honeybee, good morning and welcome to the stream. I hope you are doing well, Miss Honeybee. You look rough. I think it's time for a detox. Detox, Will? You think I look rough and I need a detox? Okay. Thank you for your comment. Busted a guy in Idaho who ran for senator, murdered, was from 1984. I saw something about that in the news, Michael, about yeah. I remember seeing it briefly on the news here. Like, I'm not that far from Idaho. I could be in Idaho in about an hour and a half from where I live. I mean, if I walked out here, got in my truck, and went east, I'd be in Idaho in about an hour. Chatterbox, I'm listening. I can't see very well. No, I'm sorry about that, sweetheart. I deleted the rude comment. Why was it's still there? I don't know. Doesn't bother me. People have to say whatever they want about me. Trust me when I tell you, if I listened and took to heart everything that people say about me, I would have lasted a month, maybe a month on YouTube. You can't take the comments that and things that people say about you to heart. And just like and it unfortunately it does make you cold and kind of jaded, because you will get very few positive comments about your work and how you look. Very few, compared to the mountain of negative things where people will judge you on your speech pattern, how you look, your video quality, your audio. They will butcher you in the comment section of everything and try to nitpick you apart. And then when those people are done, and at the same time, you'll get people who will comment that you are full of shit. I don't believe anything you have to say. You're a liar. You're this, you're that. And then you click on their name, and 9 times out of 10, you look at their subscriber list, it always comes back to they're over here on this side of the subject matter, and they hate anybody who is from here this way. That's the world we live in. Anybody who runs against you has to be your enemy. Anybody who says anything contrary to what you've been told by somebody over here or over here, anybody in between those must be a liar. Because there's absolutely no way that this person made a mistake or this person made a mistake, because they are the gospel. And anything in here or outside of that is wrong. That's the way YouTube and the internet is. So I don't let it bother me. Just brush it off. Move on with life. That's the way I do. Don't let people, other people who you can't control, you can't convince, dictate how your life is going to go. Oh, I'm still here. I am here and I'm going nowhere. Let's see. Where did we this off? Yeah. Might be a troll, might not be. I hold no ill will, against Miss Honeybee for saying that. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. I don't think I look rough. I mean, I slept pretty good last night. I'm pretty damn sure I don't need detox. I mean, I do drink way too much coffee, and that's what we were talking about beforehand. Maybe, she thinks I need to, or he or she needs, because you never know just because of the name, who the person is behind the actual name. Yeah. Thank you, Debbie. I may not be the best looking thing in the world, but I think I do pretty good for what I have when I'm working with. Thank you, Didi. Too many trolls, Michael? Yeah. Yeah, we actually did a poll when it comes to the most hateful kind of content in niche areas. And we were actually surprised. It was done with SurveyMonkey, and we posted the link on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, in the community section of a whole bunch of different channels and different content. And there was about, I think, 10 total channels on YouTube who took part of it. So we shared it with all 10 of those channels, like social media links and everything else. And we had close to, I think, 13,000 replies. It was close to that. I think it was like 12,800 something, but it was close to 13,000 replies. Of what area or content do you think gets the most hate or most hateful comments on YouTube? And you would be surprised on what was number one. And it surprised a lot of us what was number 1 and 2, 3, and 4. Crime channels didn't even crack the top 5. It was, I think, number 6 or 7. But number 1 overall for the most hateful content, the comments from people, was makeup tutorial videos or makeup channels. Women attacking women over and over again viciously for how they look and how they applied makeup and how they talked about makeup and who they were. Everything. And it was vicious. So we started looking into it. And you would be surprised. If you have a makeup channel, you better get yourself some really goddamn great moderators in a heartbeat before you even open up that channel. Because women were vicious to each other. Well, you look exceedingly well. for someone who had COVID and survived just a few months ago. I'd like to see how springtime fresh the root person looks today. Yeah, that's true. When you are perfect, you cast the first stone. That is very true, Marion. Very true. Very true. Sorry, I'm still scrolling up and down through the stream because I missed a bunch of comments. Tell them to rub rock salt. I don't know, Short Nice. I know what yesterday when we went down to have the COVID testing done for my wife, my daughter, my son, and myself, they told me that they wouldn't test me again because I've already had COVID, and they're not doing people who haven't had COVID within the last 30 days. 30 days past their last positive. They're not testing them again right now. And this is for the rapid test. I don't know if that's true for the regular standard test, but just for the rapid test. And they're also not testing people with the rapid test who don't have a confirmed result from the person that they were exposed to. So they wouldn't test me in a nutshell with a rapid test yesterday. But they tested my wife, my son, and my daughter. So thank you, Gayla. I will keep my head up. I've got a greater mission in life than letting the haters try to tear me down. And I don't think I don't know what the context is or what Honeybee was trying to say. I mean, we have a very small sample size of a comment there, so I'm not taking that comment as a negative. But there are a lot of people out there who really don't like me because I'm not their favorite channel. And they feel like, behind the keyboard, they can say whatever they want. Oh, well. Oh, well. Life moves on. Yeah, ID. That's because I turn the camera off when I'm smoking. YouTube doesn't like smoking. So if I want to keep this video and a stream on YouTube, I turn the camera off when I smoke. I could sit here, and probably mainline heroin, and they wouldn't care. People can sit on stream and drink all day long, alcohol, and get absolutely sloshed. And there are quite a few channels out there that do that. That's all they do is they sample and drink whiskeys or scotches or wines from around the world. And by the end of those streams, those people are absolutely lit to the point where they can't sit upright. It's just, but you take out a cigarette and light it up on a stream. YouTube their system flags it. You open up a Juul, a vape, and you do that, they flag it. And they either will demonetize it and forbid you from monetizing that content because it's not advertiser friendly, or you will get what they call what did my daughter put? How'd she put that? Ghost. They'll ghost you, your content. You'll watch it and it's like the suggested video, from YouTube and Google suggestions, they just drop off. It's like a ghost town. You might get one or two, from just people who will be able to find the video. And I got videos that are on YouTube right now. If you went to my channel and you searched all my videos that I've ever put out, you're not going to find all of them right now. I guarantee it. There are over 550 videos on my channel right now. You can count them up. Do 50 a page. You will not get anywhere near 550 videos. You won't find them all because they've just stopped letting people know. And unless somebody searches for the exact subject matter, they're never going to find it. And that's just a fact of YouTube. And why do they do it? You would think that they would want people to be able to find the content because, well, the more engagement they have, the more people are watching your content, the longer they're there, and that's it can make more money by selling advertising to. Well, if it's been demonetized, there's no skin in the game for YouTube anymore. They don't care. If it's not monetized, there's no reason for them to suggest it to anybody. And you will not find that content on my channel. But the videos are there. I can see them from my end, and those who have, the authorization. And the only other person that has authorization to see my content is my wife. But we can see it from different computers, different cell phones or whatever. But you can't find it when you do like the search, unless you type in the exact title or subject matter. And that's the truth. It's the world we live in. This is their sandbox, and they can do whatever they want. It's not a constitutional issue, because they are a private company and they can do whatever they want with their platform. If they decide that they don't want certain content on their platform because it may upset Pepsi, then they just don't do it. There's nothing in it for them. So that's life. Never take commentary from someone whose advice you wouldn't seek. You wouldn't want advice from a faceless loser with a keyboard. That's good advice, Cement Shoes. Very good advice. Never take advice from somebody you wouldn't seek the advice from. Those are words to live by right there. No video showing. I think you're great, and I've been watching your videos forever. Keep up the good work. I also think you look damn fine. If all of us were seen, it would be comical. Yeah. But at the same time, though, I help anybody. I'll help anybody, start a YouTube channel. Just about, if I have the time to. I can't do everybody, but but everybody has a voice. If YouTube is going to truly be the voice of the future, and they are right now the second largest search engine behind their own parent company, Google, and until I guess maybe the government decides to break them apart, I don't know what the hell they're thinking, and that's just a waste of time. But everybody has a life. We all have different experiences. We all have a voice. Why not put it on YouTube? You don't have to show your face. Take your camera and just focus on a coffee cup in front of you and film it. Tell your story. MAGA March is happening in D.C. Yes, I saw that on the news this morning. Isn't there supposed to be 1 million of them? 1 million MAGA bros? That's how I'm not kidding. That's the title that was on the news this morning. MAGA bros march on Washington. So, okay. I don't know what they're hoping for. Show support, I guess. Honeybee was one of those dog-faced temperance women in a previous life, ruining everyone's fun with prohibition. Prohibition is a very, very interesting subject, especially here in America. If you read into how prohibition started, the people who were behind it, their reasons behind it, and along with some of the other things that came out of that era of prohibition, you'd be surprised. It's very interesting content from a history standpoint. Well, thank you, Faithful One. I don't know about being awesome, but I do the best I can. I got death threat for a bad comment about Chris Watts. It was probably from Cindy. Oh boy, cement shoes. I don't want to go back to those days. I got death threats. I got somebody who said that they wanted to send a sexual predator to my home to take care of my son. My wife got death threats. Someone called her work and tried to get her fired. I got doxxed. I can't remember how many times. These same people sent people to my home because they posted an ad online that I was giving away free tablets or laptops. I can't remember. Yeah, it got pretty freaking nasty during the beginning of the Watts case and towards the middle of that. But don't feed the trolls. Someone swatted a poor lady just making crafts. Wow. That happened not too long ago, not to me, but happened one town over. There was, it turned out it was a 69-year-old man from, I want to say Dearborn, Michigan, or someplace like that. It was someplace in Michigan, I believe, who swatted a 12-year-old boy from one town over over a video game they were playing online. I think it was like PUBG or something. They came down to like the last. There was like a handful of them, and the 12-year-old killed the 69-year-old, and he found out somehow where the kid lived, and well, he swatted him. Told called in an anonymous threat that the kid, well, they didn't know the kid, the police didn't know either, was going to kill his entire family. So the SWAT team showed up, busted in the door, scared the damn family, pretty bad over a video game. That just happened like a month or so ago nearby here. Went down over. Crazy. Turn comment in, threats are traceable. You would think, Rain Dancer. So when I got all those death threats and those threats against my minor child, you would think that YouTube would act on that in a expeditious manner. No, they did not. They didn't act on it until it was after somebody actually followed through and actually killed someone because of what was going on YouTube in the comment field. They ignored it and they dragged their feet and they said it wasn't their issue and blah blah blah, and they took all of it, and at the same time that was going on, the harassment and stalking of LGBT community was going on, and YouTube just kind of like took a hands-off approach to it because, well, first off, they didn't know that it was happening, is what they said. And then they took a hands-off approach to it and they said, well, you need moderators for that. And the moderator can then remove these comments. And they try to push it off that way. And then when it actually spilled over onto other social media platforms where people had taken their threats off of YouTube to another one, they're like, oh, this might be something we should probably look into. So they changed their policies to stalking and bullying on their platform, and then stalking someone off of YouTube. And then they said, well, we did our part. And they said, I hope you have a great day. And then, the first actual real event happened outside of YouTube that started on YouTube, where I think it was two parties who were fighting over something else, and one ended up killing the other one. This about maybe 2 years ago, this all right around there when the Christopher Watts thing was happening and all that was all going on at the same time. And YouTube still hasn't changed their policies in a lot of ways. And they haven't committed a lot of action. So now if you report someone, they give you a nice helpful link. And they say, here is how you can report them to their ISP and how to report them to your Internet Crimes Division of your local police department. Well, God, I hope your police department has an internet crimes division, because a lot of communities don't have an internet crimes division. You will get a beat officer who will know how to write parking tickets and how to enforce, the basic laws of the community and the country, but may not know how to reach out and actually enforce internet laws. And in a lot of ways, the internet is still the wild, wild west. The laws have been slow to catch up. They're catching up, and we're finally able to prosecute people for some of the things that they have done. Swatting, doxing, illegal in a lot of states, but not all states. And for example, like in Oklahoma, and I think it's Oklahoma, Texas, and Arkansas, you can still post your ex-wife or ex-husband's information along with maybe you guys made an intimate movie. You can still post that underneath an anonymous name and stalk them and harass them that way in those states with no repercussions, because they actually got senators in those states to vote against making laws in those states to punish people for doing such disgusting, vile things like that. Now, do you think those states have laws on the books to protect internet crime victims, victims of harassing and bullying? No, because those same senators said, you know what? I don't think we need an additional law to, enforce this. We already have laws on the books that say you can't stalk someone or harass them. Well, now if you get it to court, how are you going to prove that it came from that person? Unless you can trace the ISP and then you get information, you spend thousands of dollars to do it. There's no way. Sorry about my rant. Hi, Rylan. Welcome to the stream this morning. Sorry about my little rant there, but Maria Bordeaux. Good morning, Will. Can you please say hello to my daughter, Raven? Good morning, Raven. All the way from Dawson Creek, British Columbia, Canada. Good morning, Raven. What's up? Hope you're feeling better and family are okay. Margaret Kelly, we're doing as best we can here. I hope that maybe Margaret was talking to somebody else. GF wanted to call the police, but they never sent anything else. I must have gotten him good. LOL. Have a sharp tongue. Bill. Island. I'm sorry. I'm scrolling through the stream still. I'm catching up. I'm about 3/4 of the way back down to where it streams. You have antibodies, but that's not meaning you can't contact twice. You need to look at mutations virus coming also. Yes. That is something, but I guess from the rapid test, Rain Dancer, they wouldn't test me for doing the rapid. I think I'd have to go get the actual, excuse me, I'd have to have that full COVID test done to find out if I have it again. And yes, that was one of the reasons why they told me they weren't doing the rapid test, because the rapid test would have detected the antibodies, that's not antibodies. I think it's antigens of the COVID, which would be in my system. But that's, I mean, I figure, look, if the wife tests positive, I have it. And, if my son tests positive, I have it, because I'm around them both pretty much every day. Now, my daughter, that's a different story. I see her very, in passing a lot more than I see her in person. There's a YouTube person I despise because of trash talking Shannon and the children, but I don't watch it and tell them what a-holes they are. Don't like it, don't watch it. That's true. People do death threats need reporting. Yes, you're is a bit back there. Yeah. Yeah. I I could go on that rant for a while about how YouTube still ignores a lot of content. They refuse to monetize a lot of content unless you're, you know, I don't know if you guys want me to go down this road. There is certain content on YouTube that doesn't violate any of the standards, rules, or anything on YouTube. And it's just people talking about their lives and about their experiences in life that YouTube refuses to monetize. They refuse to acknowledge is there. And this, and even they, even what lip service they've given, they haven't changed their actual rules on monetization of content for these platforms because they still consider the content controversial and against their community guidelines. That is there every single day. It's like the person puts up the content, it's like being smacked in the head with a hammer every time they do it, because YouTube's policies automatically say this content is not monetizable, which devalues the experience and the life of the individual who is uploading that content. It's sad. It's pathetic. And they've been sued over it. They settled out of court. YouTube said they're going to fix it. Almost a year later, they haven't fixed it because YouTube pushes a certain agenda and political agenda, and they, like all platforms do, they're not biased, and they decided that certain content is not shouldn't be on their platform or shouldn't be viewed by people the way everything else is. You can watch puppy videos 24 hours a day, and that could be a live stream of a bunch of puppies in a box, which would be so cute. But those puppies can be monetized. But get somebody to tell their life story and experiences from where they are and who they are, they don't want to monetize that because that might help somebody else, somebody who is suicidal, somebody who is going through clinical depression. It may help them. That's not monetizable in a lot of assets. There are exceptions, obviously, and just like doing a true crime channel, you have to talk around the actual subject matter. You can't put in the title or in the description or in the tags certain things. You can't use the word homicide, murder, decapitation, familicide. The words you just can't use because it'll flag your content. Beep. Nope, not a chance. So you have to play loosely with the wording, in the description and everything else. And then nobody finds it because who's going to find that, unless you actually know the actual person's name and you spell it correctly. I'm a diehard Diet Coke person. Boo on Pepsi products. Margaret, my mother-in-law drinks a 2-liter of Diet Pepsi every single day. Every day. Back when they used to have Pepsi points, my mother-in-law had so many Pepsi points. She got 2 mountain bikes and a whole bunch of other stuff. But I remember those 2 mountain bikes. They're Fila mountain bikes. She's used one a couple of times, but the other one just sits in the garage, still in the box from when they had the Pepsi points 10 years ago or whatever it was. But she drinks a lot of Diet Pepsi. She actually goes through withdrawals when she doesn't have Diet Pepsi around. You must be a square. What is a MAGA? I'm not sure on the definition either, Cement Shoes. What is MAGA? I don't know. I know that when people talk about Trump supporters, they talk about MAGA, Make America Great Again. I think that's what it stands for, but I'm not 100% sure. Oh, look, there's a lot of people who already answered it for you. Yeah, to FBI, local law enforcement, supposed to report it, but trust me, from firsthand experience, Rain Dancer, reporting it to the FBI doesn't get you anywhere. Every single one of them that I reported, to the FBI or to anybody, to my state's attorney general, I have reported it to anybody because these were real threats and they had my address and they were doxing. I'm like, they're telling people to come to my home. And that at that time, the home that we lived in was just off of a busy street. So, I couldn't, there were a couple of nights there where I was absolutely paranoid that somebody was really going to come to my home and do something to my family. And that's not a good place to be at. And they all told me the same thing. You need to report this to your local police department. When it came to the FBI, they're like, you got to go start with your local police department, then your state patrol. Then, after the state patrol gets it, if they think that's a viable, actual, real threat, they can kick it up to us. You can't start at the top and work your way down. You have to start at the bottom and scale up. So, excuse me. Cyber crimes, for those who have cyber crime laws in their state, there are very few on the federal books when it comes to cyber crimes. And it's a lot easier to get one on the books federal-wise. But when you have politicians who push back against actually passing meaningful laws to, protect people on the internet, when it comes to the federal side of it, it's very hard. It's very hard to actually get because politicians are only going to want to vote for, and they're only going to want to pass laws where they have something in it for them. Some either, a supporter, who gave them money to run for their campaign, says this is what we need. And if they do it, yeah, you'll see it get done. But when it comes to a lot of politicians, they don't really care what you have to say at the end. They do what's in their interest, their best interest. And if they pass an internet laws, a new law for internet crimes, where's the benefit for them? In a lot of ways, that's really the world we live in. Politicians are bought and paid for. Nobody's there. The days of Mr. Jones goes to Washington to make good for his constituents, those days are pretty much gone. As soon as we allowed big slush funds and nameless donors to support politicians, and then said companies have the right to vote too. As soon as we did that, we gave up a lot. People don't really understand that. That's why when it comes to what Frankie Jr. did, and his fundraiser, and what we're hoping to accomplish that way for internet crimes and stalking behavior, and we did meet the $10,000 goal there with GoFundMe, is to start. That we're starting the conversation, and we're hoping to get somewhere where you can stop the stalking, and bullying of victims of a crime and the family members of that, because there's a First Amendment rights. You have rights, here in America, to freedom of the press, freedom to speech. But are you a member of the press? If you're just running a YouTube channel just to stalk people and harass them, it doesn't sound like freedom of the press. And as far as somebody from outside the country doing it, it's even worse, because now you're relying on the laws in that other country to enforce their laws. sad. Well, I'm glad it made her day. Hello, Raven. Have a good day, Raven. I like duct tape name too. Duct tape bandit. Did I miss duct tape bandit? A fool for JHP. Good morning, Will, and everyone in the chat. I changed my name. I was duct tape bandit. LOL. Just wanted to pop in and tell you all hello. Got to work, so I have a busy morning. I like the duct tape bandit, but all right. A fool for JHP. I will remember that. At least I will try. But I like the duct tape bandit. But okay. A fool for JHP. I will do my best to try to remember that. Yeah. Thank you, Margaret, for the well wishes. Big brother at work. That he had just helping people, just having pizza. I want to know too. In 1994, my government class forced all of us to write to old blue dress mess, aka Clinton. I guess they've got one on me. If you're not allowed to say those words, why can't you keep the gross, horrible details out of the news entirely and only inform the direct involved parties? Well, when it comes to the actual real news media, where they are embedded with their sources and the information that they talk about, I mean, it's a slippery slope when it comes to mainstream media. What is mainstream media anymore? But I highly doubt, people without even a degree of any sort at all should be allowed to present themselves as a news source on social media. And there are quite a few, they call themselves news TV or whatever, and they actually say that they are the news and they're reporting the news. And even if they don't do that, a lot of people these days get their news from social media. And they believe what they see on Facebook as the truth, or they see what they see on or watch on YouTube is the news. I reminded back to a time when Jon Stewart was still doing the Daily Show. And they did a poll back when Bill Clinton, was running for re-election. And they actually looked at the information that was being shared about the politics, and they found that when it came to news sources, more people trusted Jon Stewart to tell the news than they did Walter Cronkite or another mainstream media source from a respected journalist. They trusted a comedian on a late night television program to tell them the truth of what was really going on and what was real and what wasn't real. And that's sad in a lot of ways. And Jon Stewart himself, it was one of the main factors, that played into his decision to walk away, was he just could not believe that people were looking at him as the news. So, and there are other things that played into it, but why do we trust it? Because it's right here in our face all the time. It's that's a news source. It's right in our pocket. I'm sorry if I missed anybody's comments, but hello, Nurse Bev. Sorry I missed you earlier, but welcome to the morning stream. I hope you're doing well this morning. Will, what you make of Kim K and her Christopher Watts wrecking channel? I haven't watched Kim K. I'm sorry. Karma and Dharma. Dr. Debo Cherry, welcome to the stream. Good morning. Glad you could be here this morning. Yeah, I lost my place. The stream skipped by. And I'm sorry. I really am sorry if I missed your comments. NK is guilty of adultery, not murder. She's taken steps now to try some privacy. I'm surprised she took so long to try to change her name legally. I really am. It wasn't. Look, I hate to break the bad news to a lot of people out there, and I don't really care how you feel about this case either way. But Nicole Kissinger wasn't very good at hiding who she is and where she was all this time. It took, I believe, me and my small group of web sleuths and people, who research cases. I think it took us less than 2 weeks to find her, and not only find her where she was all this time, but to document where she was, and then to catch her on a traffic cam and a camera that was for surveillance, for protection of the community. She wasn't hidden all that well. And for people to think that she changed her looks and moved out of the country and did all these other crazy things, no. They, like the saying goes, sometimes it's easier to hide in plain sight than it is to go through all these elaborate steps to change who you are. And she could have simply changed her identity, her name, everything, and never said a word. But she didn't. It got out there that she wants to change her name because she's looking for the publicity, or somebody is looking for the publicity behind it. She could have filed the paperwork to change her name legally, had that sealed, so nobody would have known it was her. One extra little tiny piece of paper and an additional, I think, $35 court filing fee on top of changing her name application. Nobody would have known. It wouldn't have been in an open courtroom where there were people with spying eyes. It would have been able to see it. It would have been done in chambers, just her attorney or representative, and a judge. Simple as that. But nope, it got out there for a reason, and that's what you need to understand. What is going to happen next? Why does she want to change her name? Why now? And what is to come next? Because I think that way. I always think there's a motive behind everything. People don't do things without a motive. I'm still here. I haven't gone anywhere. I never heard of Kim K. Good. I won't bother. All right. See, this is why I like your reporting. Factual. Thank you. Now, Dr. Debo Cherry, that is one of the areas. Okay, well, I want to address that. NK was a conspirator to murder. For in order to charge her as a conspirator to murder, in this case, 3 things were crucial that the police department must have been able to prove when And round the time, I mean, they could have done it all the way up to a year afterwards, or or whenever when they finally closed the case. I don't have the papers in front of me here, but when they officially closed the case for good, was it a year after when they went to Dodge Correction Center? I can't remember, but the case was officially closed then, after they wrote out the transcripts of that conversation with Chris there. They had to be able to prove three things in order to charge her as a conspirator to murder in the case. They had to either have text messages, video, conversation, something to prove that she was there and she somehow pushed Chris or coerced Chris or talked about it with Chris beforehand, before he actually committed the acts, or a conversation afterwards where she said, "You did it right. Thank you for doing it," or "Now we can be together," or something. And even the text messages, 100% of all the text messages and pictures that she deleted from her phone and Chris deleted were recovered. They were recovered because the both of them are two idiots. The forensics investigator who actually took her phone and Chris's phone found all of the text messages and pictures were saved to the actual phone. You can delete everything and you think it's gone off your phone, but there are certain files and certain things that are saved on the phone, on the actual computer itself, and within the phone itself. And they found all that stuff. And what they couldn't get there, timestamps of phone calls and information, was then provided by the cellular company. You can deny that all you want. You can say it never happened. Fine. I don't really care. But there was no evidence that they ever talked about him killing his family beforehand, in order to charge her with conspiracy to the murder itself. Nothing. They talked about taking another vacation. They talked about going out to dinner. They talked about weight loss and eating healthy. They talked about a lot of things. But what they didn't talk about was killing Shanann and the girls. It's just not there. I wish it was. Do I think she's guilty? I mean, she's definitely guilty, of being morally bankrupt. She's definitely guilty, of just being a cold-hearted, bitch. But is there anything there to legally prove? And no. And that's why they never charged her with anything, because there wasn't anything that they could legally charge her with, based upon the actual evidence in the case. And I know a lot of people say she's guilty. Yeah, she's guilty of a lot of things, if you just look at the case. But is it a crime? Well, there are no crimes that she committed in the state of Colorado in this case. Parental alienation or interfering with the marriage. There are some states that had those on the laws, but not in Colorado. And those states that did have those laws are pretty much not used anymore, or they've removed them, or they've added amendments to them to take away the teeth of the laws that they had on the books. So at the end of the day, I mean, she is one of the most hated women in America. And the people who vote on such polls about her being the most hated person in America, well, I'm willing to bet 100% of those people who voted on that poll have never met her. I've never met her. I have no desire to meet her. I'm not here to defend her either. I'm just stating the facts of the case, that there's nothing there that we know of then, now, or ever will we ever know that, that can prove. I mean, she came out and, did a tell-all book and said she planned it with Chris. They could certainly go back and actually prosecute her for that if she actually wrote a tell-all book and admitted to it. But until she does, what are they going to do? I mean, people have said that certain rock and roll bands have made them kill people before. Can't remember. Was it Jodie Foster that made Hinckley commit murder, or he did it for her? Why didn't we prosecute her? I mean, besides Silence of the Lambs, she made some very terrible movies. So maybe we should prosecute her for that. I don't know. When it comes to the entire Christopher Watts case, I'm so sick and tired of it all. It's like it's one of those cases it just won't go away. I mean, I don't want to talk about it. I know a lot about it. I spent a lot of time researching it. Spent a lot of money. God, did I spend a lot of money on that case. Getting documentation, supporting evidence, statements, witness statements, getting people to talk to other people, who were involved in the case, like, his friend Alex. And yet people would rather believe the sensational, and outright lies, not everybody, but a lot of people. They'd rather believe that than they actually want to believe the factual information. What do they call it? Confirmation bias. You hear something, you learn it, you believe it, and then anybody who tells you otherwise, it can't be true. Your brain just says, nope, that's a lie. That's not true. This is what I know. Even if the first person made all of it up. That's the world we live in. That's human beings. We all have it. We can't deny it. Is unbiased as I try to be in my content. Sure, I have to admit that my life experiences, who I am as an individual, sways how I look at cases and what cases I report on. And a lot of people have pointed it out over the time. I only report on if you look at all 550 plus videos, very few of the cases that I've ever reported on are crimes that are committed by anyone other than Caucasian. And now, I never made that actual conscious decision to do that, but I did it because it's something in here that I didn't realize that I was doing. But that's the world we live in, and that's me. My experiences judged, and changed my decision, what cases I picked, and I do, and I cover. Sure, there are some cases, that I have covered extensively in the past, where they are of African American descent, like Samuel Little, or maybe the victim of the crime and the perpetrator were of another race besides Caucasian. But it wasn't because I consciously decided to pick those cases. It's just something that came, across my, my desk. I found it interesting. There was room to research and talk about something that wasn't just in the mainstream media, a larger scope, if you will, of the case. the bigger picture. But I'm sure that when it comes to the Christopher Watts case and other cases, that are similar to it, where there's been a family annihilator, I've certainly judged the person who committed the crime, in a different light than other people. Well, because frankly, I don't think that I'm wrong. I think they deserve it, man. They killed someone. And then thinking back on it, in my own experience, and at a murder that took place, that of a friend of mine, it all plays in somehow, subconsciously, in how I decide what videos, and what I cover. I wish it was different. I wish I could, cover things that were, I don't know, had more appeal, I guess, to the larger audiences. But I enjoy what I do, even if my unconscious mind, sways me in one direction over another, to cover, a case of middle America, Iowa, of a husband who snaps and takes out his entire family, or a mother who decides that they are tired of the life that they have, and they drown their two little boys in a lake and blame it on somebody else. If I'm swayed that way because of my unconscious, mind, and we all have to realize that, and just like you perceiving the information and getting the information from me, you're swayed to watch and click on certain content because of your experiences, your life. And that's how it is. I mean, not every one of my videos will get 1,000 views, or 10,000, or go viral, or 100,000. You never know. Sometimes you hit a ball out of the park, and other times, you swung away as hard as you could, and it barely trickled up to the pitcher's mound. So you move on, you try the next day, you do another video, you reply to comments, you ignore the haters, because the haters are always going to make sure that they scream the loudest, and they'll come back, and and once you block them, they'll make another account, they'll change their name, and they'll be back. Trust me. As soon as they realize that they're not getting underneath your skin, they're not riling you up, and they're not making you, reply to them or say something back to them, to their negative, disgusting, vile comments, they'll change their name and come back. Maybe the next time they'll start off with a nice, sweet comment, and then you'll reply to that. So now they know that they're being seen and they're being heard. And then slowly but surely, they'll get right back to where they were before. They don't know me. They've never met me. But they somehow think that they will affect my life in a way to the point where I will get riled up, upset, or maybe I'll quit. I don't know what they're hoping for. But at the same time, I have more than enough positive, people around me in the comment sections, and those who are channel members and Patreon, and those who support me through PayPal. Excuse me. It makes it all worthwhile. And it's not just a financial gain. I'm certainly not in this for the money. I could make more money working at McDonald's than I do this. And this is all I do. I don't work anymore. I do this. I could have went back to work. They offered me, another job, with another company after my company decided to exit the U.S. market completely. I could have went back to work, but I decided I wanted to do this because I'm financially stable in my life, and I'm financially, and secure in who I am as an individual. Then I said, you know what? I'm going to give this a go. I'm going to go for the next year. I'm going to look at where I'm at. I'm going to set my goals, and I'm going to achieve my goals, regardless of the people who hate me or not. And and hopefully along the way, I'll make more friends, and I have. I've made a lot of great friends. I've made, some real good enemies too. But when it comes to enemies and friends, I believe in keeping them both close, because as close as you keep them, at least you know where they are. You know where those enemies are. You know where they're coming from. You know who they support. You know what they're going to comment next. You know exactly what to say. And those who support my content, sometimes they don't say things. Maybe they're here and they're gone for a couple of months. Maybe they'll watch one video a week, but their voices, to me, are just as loud, if not louder, than the haters. So that's me. That's my content. That's my channel. And that's where I come from. I'm not going anywhere. But that also is the end of today's Saturday morning stream. I want to thank each and every one of you personally. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for listening to me ramble on with no real course of, in any of it, what I'm talking about. I hope you can take something from it. Maybe you learned something. If not, at least it was entertaining. I hope each and every one of you have a good weekend and stay safe out there. And remember, life is fleeting. None of us are guaranteed a tomorrow. Tell the people around you how much you matter to them and how much they matter to you. Let people know who are close to you that they're worth it. Because again, you could step outside of your front door in 10 minutes from now, and you'll never come back. And how will the people who are directly affected by your life and you are affected, vice versa, how will they remember you? What will be the last memory of you? I would rather it be, I love you, and I'm glad you were here today. And thank you again for joining me on this stream. Until next time, everyone, stay safe out there.